guys, this is Eris from Sailing into Second, and I wanted to come to you today to just give you a quick sneak peek of my next interactive notebook that I'm doing using Google Drive. And so I've gotten a few questions about how I use this with my kids and how I use it with my classroom, and more specifically, how I push this resource out to my kids so that they're able to do it independently on their tablets or their Chromebooks or laptops. And so I just wanted to walk you through some of the things that I do when I push this out to my kids. So you'll see here that when you get the copy of the resource, it comes with many different types of graphic organizers. And what I love about that, because one of the questions I got was, what do I do with all the graphic organizers, or what do I do with all the pages in this product, in this resource? And what I like to do is I kind of give you more than what you really need, because teachers like to differentiate and teachers like to pick and choose what they want to push out and use with their kids. So I have a lot of different types of graphic organizers, but ultimately you can use whichever ones that you feel meet the needs of your students the best. So it could be as simple as like a bubble map, or it could be more complex like a comparative tree map, or even just as simple as like a KWL chart that you can do as a whole class on a smart board or on some sort of projector screen. And so what I really love about this resource is I have close reading passages that the kids like to do on their own, or if I pull a small group, they can do it with me, so they get that help with close reading. There are comprehension questions with each passage. And one thing I added in this resource was like a close read, a fill in the blank, where the kids use certain words that are found in the text that they just read. So this previous text here, but they're able to fill in the blank to see if they truly understand what they were reading. And with these, I know some of the questions I've gotten is, what do I do with the movable pieces? Or what do the kids do more specifically? So what's really neat about the movable pieces is you just kind of drag and drop them and they can adjust them. So if it's covering up part of the text, the kids can kind of adjust that and just drag and drop, which I really like, or put back if they use an incorrect one. I have different graphic organizers to collect information about the passages. There's a really cool one with the movable pieces and a timeline where the kids kind of put each event in order from first to last, and I have that for both presidents. There's word work where my kids love Scrabble. Whenever they get to use just different word work where they get to build words, they just love it. And so I thought this would be really neat where the kids can kind of move the pieces below and build words as they see them, or jot them down in the list below, or the list above here. So I really like that they are moving pieces around. It is an interactive piece, because it is technology, but it's also tactile because they kind of have to move the mouse around and they have to figure out where the pieces go. So I did love that. There's multiple reading passages for both presidents. There's compare and contrasting. And then what I love most about these are these links to videos, informational text videos that give them kind of a deeper understanding of what the topic is, whether it's, Chinese New Year or Groundhog Day or Native Americans. This one's specifically on President's Day. So I linked up 2 videos, one for each president, where the kids can kind of watch these independently. You could watch them as a whole class, and they can go back and use the resources in the product here and take notes on what they've learned. So I really like that independence piece. My kids love to work on these kind of with either a partner, a small group, sometimes by themselves. And so one thing I have for you is a little freebie. I know some of you want to try it out in your classrooms, but aren't too sure how it would work or the logistics of what technology you'd use with these. So I created a little sample, a little freebie for you guys to use. And it comes with a reading passage, comprehension pieces, a graphic organizer for you to try out with your kids. And if you still feel like this is something that you want to use in your classroom, I have a link here where you can just click on the link and it'll take you to the full resource. And I really hope this has been helpful. I push this out with Google Classroom so that I don't really have to worry about making a copy for myself, then making a copy to push out to my students. Google Classroom does that for you when you assign to your students or specific students, which you can do now with Google Classroom. But you can also make sure that when you do share the teacher link with your students, that they make a copy for themselves. That way they're not editing your copy. It's kind of like making sure that you don't give anyone your master copy when making paper copies of something. You make them a copy and then they do what they'd like with it. So that's kind of the same way that Google Drive works. You always have to ensure that your master copy is not editable or can be changed, with any of your students using it. So if you'd like to grab this President's Day freebie, it's available in my TBT shop. And if you just go over to most recently added, or if you look at the sidebar that shows digital resources, you'll find that it's available there. So if you go to my TPT shop, you'll see that I have a couple of resources for you to look at. These are all digital interactive notebooks or digital resources. You don't necessarily have to use them as an interactive notebook. You could use them just as activities that you do with your kids, but they're easily usable as that as well. But if you look at the side column under the custom categories, you'll find all the Google resources here where it says Google Resources Digital. And it'll take you to all the products that I have that are usable in a one-to-one or a blended learning or a Google Classroom. And you'll see that the President's Day freebie is right here at the bottom. You can click on it and download it, and it'll give you instructions on how to download, where to get it, and how to download it and use it with your kids. So I really hope that this has helped you kind of get a little sneak peek into how I use it with my kids. Feel free to email me any other questions. My email is eris@sailinginto2nd.com. Thanks, guys!